Hello and welcome to the SML podcast. This is SML Total Access, the most diverse podcast on the SML network and the best podcast on the SML network. I am Primetime000, and with me today is my trusted co-host, ZZ the Great. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Prime? Man, I'm excited. We just had a fantastic Super Bowl. The SML is in a place where I thought it would. I didn't think it would never be there because I've always been an optimist. But
Mm-hmm.
we are somewhere where it is just. It's fantastic. This Super Bowl this year was just amazing. I can't believe that we ended up with a Super Bowl like the one we did between you and Big Oshie. I'd like to give a shout out, man. Congratulations, big season, brother. The Chicago Bears.
Yeah, man, I was fired up. Obviously, great event, great game, lived up to the hype. We have yet to have a just dud of a Super Bowl this cycle. Season 1, we had the Colts and the Bears. Me and Oshi came down to the last drive. Season 2,
Yes.
you had Governor against the Jets and Royce. That game, nearly Royce pulled off the Cinderella story, could not do it. Season 3, you
Mm-hmm.
had me and Governor, and I beat Gov once again on a last second interception. And then me and Oshi,
Yes.
right down to the wire. I probably had the best play I've ever had in Madden. Just rolling out, just doing my thing, and just a great game. And happy to win number
Well,
15.
without sounding like a prime candidate,
Mm-hmm.
that pass and that catch was one of the biggest plays I've probably ever seen. During that play, I remember as QB Stud was calling it. We basically thought you had like nowhere to go, and then Ebron just came open, and it was just a perfect pass, perfect catch, perfect situation. There's nothing else you could have done, and I think that just goes to show your prowess for winning.
Yeah, and if it was kind of like the Eli Manning play in the sense of throwing it up in the middle of the field, remember the helmet catch in the Super Bowl? So I
Yes.
took the snap, and immediately my first two reads were covered, but I didn't even have time to. If you go back and watch the play, he had a superstar defensive lineman, Leonard Floyd, and he immediately got a block shed, immediately ripped through the guard and the center. And I had my running
Yes.
back blocking, and my running back chipped him enough to where I could roll out. So I just rolled out to the first place I could go. Right handed quarterback, I usually roll out right. And there was nobody there. Everybody was on the left hand side of the field. So I held on to it as long as I could, and then right last second I seen Eric Ebron, so I throw a bullet pass, and then I'm thinking in my head, well now I got to do a possession catch because he's probably going to get hit, and the best way to catch this is possession. So I do that, got the right animation, and got the first down. But once again, that goes back to me saying you can create your animations. I know people say it's lucky, some of it is lucky, but also all this stuff is going through my head during the play, which some people just let the computer decide these animations. You can create your own animations.
Yes, 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 and that's what we talked about, like right after the game in the post game interview. We discussed about how you control situations in Madden. I mean, it's up to you. You can control it. Prime could have very well tapped out after what were you down? Was
10.
it 14-0 or 10-0? Okay, you were down 10-0 in the beginning. And he could have tapped out. He could have kind of conceded and started rushing and and trying to get the big money shot just to get the game back in. But he was very calm. He ran one or two plays, and then he hit the big money shot. And I think that's the kind of mentality that helps you win these games. Without that, you can be as good of a player as you want, but without that, you can't get over that hump, and you can't win these gigantic games like this. And just to transition into um, what we're talking about here is just I think the analysis of the game, QB Stud is a freaking
Beast.
star as far as he's amazing as far as commentating. I know
Mm-hmm.
I might have been a little lackluster. That's not my gig, but that he was great in describing what was going on during the game and the mindsets of both players. I think he was inside both of you guys' heads. So in the future, you guys might want to look out for this guy because not only is he a great commentator, he's a great football analyst.
Yeah, I just do want to say, yeah, QB Stud, great at what he does. Absolutely fantastic. He's got OBS, he's got the setup down. Future big time SML commentator, we talked about it off air. MBL has OSU. Well, we've got QB stud, and he's gonna be big time for us, and I'm
Yes.
excited for that. Like you said, he's in
And
my head. I watched the obviously just rewatched the commentary after the game, and
yes.
he had like literally hit it on the head. Usually I'll listen to these guys commentate my games and they'll be off on what's happening. Sometimes, not all the
Hmm.
time, but not a majority of the time he knows exactly like what was in my head during the play. So that's kind of cool to see. And
Yeah. He
another
knew what you needed. He knew what you needed to do to succeed, and it seemed like you were following along with the plan that he was discussing. I can tell you couldn't be watching the stream because you're hiking the ball too fast.
right. And then another thing to talk about is that yeah, he is a great player by the way, very good player. He's someone you got to watch out for. The graphics by Rowan Cook have just been fantastic. Absolutely, very talented kid. Very talented. He put together a Luck and a Trubisky, a few other things. Obviously,
Yes, I saw that.
Meats put out a great logo. Chris and Kells is putting out logos in Primer and SML. He made an AFC Championship banner for me. Uh, I mean, we've got all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, a graphics department and a department of commentary where it's going to be scary. It's going to be very
You
scary.
got you guys have to understand that the primer idea and the situation that's going on with the primer is working. I mean, no matter what you think of the primer in its general state or the guys that play there or whatnot, it's working. It's filtering out a lot of guys that aren't SML material. And it is the cream is rising to the top. We are drafting in these guys that are going to help us move forward in the future. And I, for one, have no problem with moving over and letting a better guy do a job that is like 10 times better at it than I am.
Right.
So even if me and Prime finds two of you guys that have a show that is better than Total Access, which is probably not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
But if you do, we are willing to move aside because it's all for the betterment of the league. We're looking to improve this league, whether it's in graphics, whether it's in commentary, whether it's in podcasts, no matter what it is, we're looking to improve the league. So if you feel like stepping up and you want to get in here with us, get in while the getting is good, man.
Yeah, and I do want to say there's a spot for everybody. Like Royce, he's a talented writer, and he's writing not weekly, but like every 2 days, he's putting out his game of the week predictions, this, and this
Right.
to rolling with Royce. So he's got a talent in writing, and I don't want to drag stuff too much. Obviously, you've got QB stud, you've got Chris, you've got
You got Paulie.
Paulie, who's out there doing his thing. He's gonna have his podcast coming out soon. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
though, everybody's
The
got a
truth.
special the truth with Polly. Everyone's got a special talent, and it's just in different places. So you just got to
Yes.
stick your head out there. So I'm excited for
Man,
this fresh blood in the SML.
dude, I have no issue with the fact that QB Stud like fucking outshined me like 10 times today on this thing. But for me, it's fucking fantastic. I don't want to do commentary anymore. I love for fucking QB Stud to be our main guy for commentary
Yeah,
because that just frees me and Prime up to do more stuff and to get more guys in here to do more things
yeah.
and to get our league to that status to where we're just the best place to be, man, on PS4.
Hey,
And
and I
that's the
will say,
ultimate goal.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. If somebody's taking shots at any of our commentators or any of our writers or anybody making graphics, like ZZ, if they're like, oh, ZZ didn't commentate too well today, let's see you get out there and commentate a game. You know, it's easy to throw rocks from the bottom, but let's see you get up there,
Yeah.
see that viewer count up at 25, 30, and try doing that same thing. You know, it takes some
Yeah.
talent
I
to
want
do
to.
that.
Yeah. Where you guys at, man? Y'all talking crap, but don't nobody want to step up. Let's hear what you do in these situations. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens when the pressure is on you, or when your life is moving 1,000 miles an hour, and you have to hurry up and wake up and make sure you get this podcast done because
Yeah.
no one else is there to do it.
Yep. So, and it's just like that in Madden as well. Sometimes it's very easy to backseat coach and backseat. Well, why did Oshie do this or why did Prime do? Well, yeah. Well, that's why you're 7-9 and missed the playoffs. So, uh,
Yeah, so get in here, man. Help us out, bro. We have no problem giving the best job to the best person that's available. And I just want to say, Huey Stud, man, I just again, congratulations, bro. You're a gem out there,
yeah.
and I'm glad we have you.
Moving on though, there was somebody talking trash who did make the playoffs, and he's been hating. I'm just gonna say he's been hating on me lately, and that's I got the meats. So what's first of all, what's going on with I got the? Is he hating on me, or am I just wrong?
Of course, he's hating on you, Prime. He feels like you are the obstacle that is keeping him from winning the championship, which might be partly true.
Hmm.
And so he consistently attacks you. If you don't watch the throne, you'll never obtain it. So he's always watching the throne. He's always plotting. He's always trying to figure out how to get how to get in your head. So it is what it is. I mean, and for me, no one takes this game more seriously than Meats. Man, Meats
Hmm.
takes this game seriously. He loves the numbers. He loves being good at it. Because he did not used to be very good at it, and with him being good at it, man, he wants a title,
Yeah.
and I think he's willing to do whatever it takes. And the person at the top is his obstacle, and as long as you're winning, you're going to be his obstacle. And like I told you in the post game interview, man, as soon as they stop hating on you, that's when you might want to actually consider retiring
Yeah.
because they don't think you're going to win anymore.
Yeah, and you hit it on the head. I know. I recognize myself saying that. You hit it on the head, and moving on. So, but
Yes,
Meats
yes.
Meats is he's taking shots. So we'll see. Meats, all you're doing is motivating me. So where do
Yeah,
Meats?
hey, the folding chair can't take a shot. And yeah, I know I'm one of those little white plastic chairs that don't bend or whatever. But you still been folding meats. And it's a couple guys. And we also and we're gonna transition right in the future. And I think he's right in that same bag, man. It's he's another guy that has to make that leap from um being a regular season warrior to get into the Super Bowl. Oshi's made it twice. He almost had it this year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Looking at Future Empire, and then obviously Oshi, another one of those guys. What do you think they needed? Like, where do we move on? Like, it just is more of the same every year. I see in the chat multiple times. Well, I think this year's Meat's year. This is the year Oshi gets it done, or this is Future's year. And like
Well,
every year, it's
yeah.
not their year.
Well, fortunately, they're not the Dolphins, or they're not Miami, or a basketball correlation would be the early '90s, late '80s, 76ers with Charles Barkley, and Karl Malone and the Jazz. They're not those guys because they're not going to get that much older to where they're not going to be able to play Madden.
Hmm.
They have time, so these humps that they haven't got over, I do believe one day they will eventually eclipse those impediments. But for now, man, hey, Meeks is the folding chair. Seahawks future is my boy, but he's probably one of the most disappointing elites that we have
Hmm.
because first round exit wild card for a guy that won 15 games, that's a
That's
bit tough.
that's a bit tough. That's a bit tough.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. And I just need to see more out of those guys. And they know it. They know it. It's just at this point, it's just doing it. And I think the pressure just mounts as you go into these games because you think about it. Moving on. So who didn't make the playoffs that you kind of have your eye on? I mean, we got Woods, we got Lawyer Killer, QB Studs up there. Roland Kuh is up there.
Yes.
Haas. Anybody you're kind of keeping your eye on for maybe a dangerous comeback season?
Dangerous comeback season. Well, of course, there are. I mean, like I said, man, it's any given Sunday, man. I mean, the Tennessee Titans used to be a playoff contender season and a half ago. So, um, you don't know which one of these guys are going to move up and do their thing. Now, the guys I will watch for, and we could talk about Phil and him being in the middle of the pack every year. And I know he gets sick and tired of it because he starts off great and then he ends up in the middle of the pack. But guys keep their eye on. If you listen to QB Stud's analysis of the game, you can tell that this is a guy that is taking this very seriously as well. And I think you would have to watch this guy. He's the Patriots, and you're gonna have to keep an eye on him in the AFC pretty soon because he could become a pretty formidable force. And
Yeah,
oh, also I like throwing in the AFC, my boy, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Blunt Burner.
yeah.
Blunt Burner's making moves, man. Blunt Burner finished third in the AFC, and he ended up 11-5. So who knows what he might do one day.
Yeah, Blunt Burner, very talented player. QB stud, a good pick. I'm gonna have to go with Haas. Didn't have a strong year last year. Kind of lost some games he shouldn't have lost. And we're halfway through the cycle, so it's time for him to step it up. He guaranteed a Super Bowl, then he guaranteed a playoff appearance, then he didn't do either. And I think that we're going to see the rebirth of Haas in season four, or no, season five already. We're heading into season five.
Season 5,
Wow.
man. Season 5. Yeah, and then we're moving over to the NFC. Of course, Oshie, man. You know, he's got the closest out of mostly all the guys besides Gov. And he's appeared in Super Bowl with you twice. He's failed in both appearances. This appearance, I think he had his best chance of actually doing it. So that is, of course, you know, a natural guy to watch for. We already talked about Future, but Gov wins it. He's done it before. WF Gamepad is a guy that you know, he's a bit quiet in chat and whatnot. He might eventually kick it in gear, and then if you throw in the guys like Lawyer and Spooky World, you never know what's gonna happen with those guys.
Yeah, I think like you hit it on the head there. I like Spooky World, and I like Lawyer Killer. This is
Yes.
he was kind of getting hot towards the end of last year, then fizzled out real quick. So if Lawyer Killer can get in the playoffs, who's scarier than maybe myself would in the playoffs? That's Lawyer Killer. I mean, he's a scary, he's a tough and
Yeah.
talented guy.
Once the playoffs hit, man, Lawyer Killer could beat just about anybody.
Moving on though, let's switch gears. We're gonna go ahead and talk about what are we gonna talk about here? Oh yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
real life Super Bowl's coming up soon here tomorrow. We got the Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you got?
Well, with me not caring too much about the Super Bowl because I had such high hopes for the Texans, and a lot of the premier teams that everybody thought would eventually be here, between the Patriots and the Ravens and whatnot. Um, this is gonna be a Super Bowl at which I'm gonna root for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm an idol guy. I
Mm-hmm.
like idols. I like guys that everyone is trying to beat. And I think Patrick Mahomes is that type of quarterback. I think the Chiefs have that kind of team. And that's where I have bet all my money this year.
Wow, there you go. I mean, I well, yeah, that's a good reason. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs as well. I think Patrick Mahomes is too good. I think he's too slippery. He's got that baseball background. He's fast. He's mobile. He's athletic. Got a cannon for an arm, and I think he's gonna get
Yes.
the job done against the 49ers, who have a very strong defense. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the 49ers win either. I think it's gonna be a good game. And yeah, but that's all I can hope for is in a good electrifying game, and hopefully Jimmy
Where are you
Garoppolo.
gonna watch it at?
Just watch it from the house. Just a glass of
Watch
chocolate
it from the
milk
house.
and maybe some chicken nuggets, TV dinner or something. So,
Don't get me
so
started.
also in other news, as before we draw near to the end of this podcast, I do want to say my idol Kobe Bryant passed away 1 week. Basically, he passed away this past
R.I.P.
Sunday. So rest in peace, Kobe. Prayers and for that family. I watched the Lakers game last night. Very, very. That was a gut punch, I think, to the city of Los Angeles for what
Yes.
Kobe not only meant to them, but to the world. I mean, he was huge in China. He was huge all over. You shoot a bucket at a trash can, Kobe. So that was kind of crazy to see.
Yes.
Um,
It's we not to get all sentimental and all this stuff with you guys, but I think okay, of course we all understand that people die every day. They might have situations with helicopter crashes or similar events where families die, and those lives are not worth any more than what Kobe's life was worth. But as a superstar and as a person of the community and as someone we all can relate to, in unison. I think this is a moment for the nation to understand that, hey man, go hug your loved ones. Like
Yeah.
I say, I get extra kisses in the morning from my wife because of this, man, because I have daughters, and
Hey, it's
just
home.
to think about what that might do to a family is horrific. And we just like to say, hey, rest in peace, Kobe, man. He always be an idol. He always be one of the greatest. So we
Yeah,
just like to say, hey, SML, send out our prayers to you.
and I do want to say one more thing. I listened to Colin Cowherd, so this is not my idea, but he had said that the one thing sports does, and really Kobe did for 20 years, was he united people. It was in such a divisive world or a divisive country. It doesn't matter if you're
Yes.
black, white, Hispanic, whatever. At that point, when you're watching the game, if you're in Staples Center, you're gonna high five the stranger. It doesn't matter what their race is. It doesn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter
All
anything.
our differences go out the window.
Mm-hmm. So before we close, I want to do an 8-second moment of silence for Kobe. Then we'll wrap it up. So let's go ahead. 8 seconds starting now. All right. So that was our moment of silence for Kobe Bryant. Zizi, I'll let you close this out.
Man, just RIP Kobe, man. Everybody know what happened this week. It's a big week. It was a big week for the SML, baby. Big Super Bowl. Congratulations to Prime. We can't forget,
Yes.
no matter what you guys feel and how you feel about Prime, he's the GOAT. He's the champion. He's 15-time champion, man. Give this man his props. He's running this league. He's winning the most games. He's a great Madden player. Let's give him some props, man, and let's show what the class that the SML really has. Also, help us.
Yes.
Help us,
Help
especially
wanted
in the
sign
Browns.
is up in the SML. So, guys, thanks for listening. That is the GOAT, 15-time champ now. But hey, I'm not satisfied. I am
15
not done.
times.
I'm still hungry, hungrier than ever now, because Meats is now on the hit list. Meats, you're going down next season. I've heard it. The shots are fired. They grazed me, but my shots never miss. That is the SML podcast. Thanks for listening.